Thank you, thank you. Well, 40 years ago, I was just about asleep, I think. But it's great to see you all, and I'm glad that you could all come. In a way, there was the dilemma of what do you do? I mean, what is this? And if there was some people who were going to celebrate 40 years. But sometimes people forget why I came. I came so that people could celebrate every single day of their life. That was my message. It's not one thing that you put aside 40 years, 45 years, 41 years, 42 years. But this is the celebration that can happen every single day in your life. That was the message. That message has not changed. The impact of knowledge in people's lives has not changed. I know there are people who were there when I first came to England. And a lot of people think that, wow, what a profound experience that must have been. But everywhere I go, there are people who have come for the first time. And they have the same experience. Because when they hear this message, when their heart is touched, when something inside begins to go, yes, there is something very profound about that. Maybe there are people here who are in trouble. Things are not going according to their plan, so they're in trouble. But don't you remember it's happened before? Don't you remember that? Even when you were young, you got in trouble. And remember how you got out of it? Somehow. It was gone, then it came again. Then it went again, then it came again, then it went again. It's always been there. It's always been there. Good has been there. Bad has been there. Freedom has been there, and fear has been there. Ignorance has been there, and knowledge has been there. And then somebody comes along and says, pay attention to the knowledge, not ignorance. Do you know how profound that is? Do you have any idea how profound that is? That is the essence of everything that is good. Pay attention to knowledge, not ignorance. And somebody who can have enough patience to beat that in your head so you don't forget it. Because if you remember that first moment of getting into trouble, it all began with forgetting what you should be paying attention to. You paid attention to ignorance, not knowledge. You paid attention to darkness. You paid attention to fear, not freedom. That's why, look at what is so beautiful in you, in your heart, in your life. What is true? What is true? All the stuff that goes on, it goes on. This is not what it is about. That happens, it shows you something. What does it show you? that there is something more. Being alive, having that breath coming in, that's the most important. Being alive. Do you look at your day that way? Absolutely not. Only when you come here. When you hear what I have to say, it's like, wow, yeah, that's true, yes. And then you walk out of that door, and it's like, huh? Let's go back to being unconscious. But don't. Don't be unconscious. Be real. And who you are. Not your projected image of who you are. That's not who you are. This grinding stone that Kabir talked about is moving. If you don't think it's moving, you're wrong. It's moving. And you are the grain that's going to get turned into flour. Watch it. Watch it. Be in the center. Because that's the only place where you won't become flour. That's what Kabir said. He said, of course, there's this stone going around and it's making everybody into flour, and you're one of those grains. But, he says, here's the way out. Stay in the center. That's where the master is. That's where this thing is revolving. Stay in the center. So if you stay in the center, you won't get shoved between, because those two stones have a hole on top, the top one. And so if you go there, there is no grinding. There's nothing to grind. Stay in the center. And when you hear that, it's like, gives that whole cliche, be centered, a whole different meaning. It's like, yes, be centered. Be very, very centered. Otherwise, the next thing you know, you're going to be flour, and not one of those flowers. You're going to be flour. Somebody's going to be eating you. So, I know so many people have come in wanting to celebrate, but I hope you just really came to listen to the message again, to renew your own understanding. Today, 40 years ago, was one of the most uncertain days of my life. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was going into. I didn't even know if on the airplane I would be able to change clothes. I didn't know. So when I left India, I was thinking, and I put on 2 sets of clothes, wearing. And when I went into the bathroom and came out in a, kurta pajama, because I had left India in a Nehru jacket and pants, and then I took those off, and there I was in kurta pajama underneath. The stewardess just looked at me like, where'd you come from? Are you stowaway or something? But then arrived, and I was shocked. I remember I came in and took a shower, took a bath, and then came down, had a little bit to eat, came down, and I was in the living room of the Lincoln Street house. And there was a few people, just 5, 6 people sitting there, and there was this chair covered in white, and I'm sitting there. And I'm looking at them, and they're looking at me. And it was like, oh my God. I had 25 pounds in my pocket. That was it. That's all you were allowed to bring out of India. And we were going to go and try to bring peace in this world. But all of these things, does it remain uncertain? Absolutely. There's still an element of uncertainty. But one thing that is certain, and one thing that was certain 40 years ago is still certain today, and that was the message. What I was telling people, what I had to offer, was true then. That was the only thing that was not uncertain. Everything else was totally uncertain. And of course, even in the face of uncertainty, I have never looked back. I don't look back today. I know what the future holds is much, much better. Much, much better. Past is past, and I know some people just love that past. It's like, whoa, everything was really wonderful, you know. I remember the Golden Manor, the house here in England, and the train would run right by it and rearrange the bathroom every time. Everything would just fall off all over the place. And I'd be, you know, and it became a habit because you just kind of would be giving satsang and then you just had to stop. Let the train go by and then begin again, and then wait for the next one and wait for the next one. And there would be these pauses, and everybody would be looking at you, and you're looking at everybody and trying to, you know, it's like, okay, here goes the train, here goes this, and here goes. This is how it was. So when you think about it, just a lot of people, it was like, oh, those were the grand old days. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know. What for me is every day I want it to be the grand old day. You know, just wonderful, more and more wonderful, people's enthusiasm, people wanting to make things right. Seeing the enthusiasm of the young people to make it happen, to, oh yes, we can do this, and we could do this, and we could do this. And it's like, well, no, but great that you have that enthusiasm. Wonderful that you have that enthusiasm. Now let me coach you on how we can do this, but the enthusiasm you have. Not limits, not fear, not, because this is not what it was all about. It wasn't about fear. You don't do this if you're afraid. You don't. You don't. To hold a course for this knowledge and not let it become anything that anybody wants it to become, but to hold it. And it's a narrow lane. And you got to precisely steer down the center. Can't have it scrape. But that's what I have done. There were so many possibilities. There were so many possibilities that people would talk about. And I would say, no. This is what it is. This is unique, and maybe people don't understand it. But its uniqueness cannot be sacrificed. Things can happen. This could have gone another way, this event. But I'd easily sacrifice that for the future of this knowledge, to be safe. That people way beyond me, will still be coming to knowledge and still enjoying knowledge. So far, there are people on the face of this earth. And I think all the little luxuries are worth sacrificing so that that can be like that. Because you realize that was my father's ambition, that I would take knowledge out of India. He couldn't do it. He was old. His, English was limited. But he made an investment. And he saw what that possibility would be. And it's wild. When you think about it, if you even know a little bit of that history, it's wild. It is as wild as you can possibly imagine. And then that day comes, and I can speak English. And he, it always challenged me, okay, you get up and you speak English. And I was like, my English wasn't that good. And I come and I didn't want to stop learning. I wanted to learn everything. And one of my passions was, okay, I'm going to learn how to fly because I've got to go places. And what better way to get to places? If I knew how to fly, I could get there simply, easily, and not be dependent upon the system. If there was a plan, gee, I wish somebody would have let me know ahead of time, because it seems like there was. There really was, but it wasn't laid out. It just kind of, every page as you got there kind of opened up. Here, read this page. This is what's happening now. And then I came, and the message just, and it's not England, not just Ireland, or not just America, but there's Mexico, Cuba, South America, Central America, Pacific, China, Russia. It just all over the place. That's what it is about. People want things to be framed. It's never going to be framed. This is real. This is living. It'll always be. There will be a master. There will be a student. There will be a heart. So far we are alive, these things are always going to be there. And there's going to be always this magic that happens when we come together, face to face. Maybe someday it'll be everybody will be wearing these helmets and these mirror things sitting there, and going upside down, right? So, well, I don't know, whatever. Well, I don't know what it's going to be like. But there will be that magic, because that magic has something to do with the heart. It has nothing to do with circumstances or environments or this or that. It has something to do with the heart. So it'll be there. I know it'll be there. It has always been there. And nothing has changed when it comes to that magic. We live in a totally different world, right? We got our cell phones, and we got this, and we got that, and we got to have this, and we got to have that, and then we got airplanes, and we got helicopters, and we got helicopters coming out that are going to be there's a helicopter that's coming out that's going to be faster than most airplanes. They've already tested it. But has the heart changed? And what Kabir said then rings true today. How's that possible? How's that possible? Has the world changed? Not really. Will it ever change? Not really. Yes, there'll be more technology, but the heart will be the same. The thirst will be the same. Do tears not fall from people's eyes, whether they're wearing contacts, glasses, or had a LASIK done? Has that changed? LASIK, right? Surgery, and then you can see perfectly, supposedly, or not see at all. What difference does it make? Do people not get hungry? Whether they have porcelain teeth, whether they have permanent teeth, whether they have temporary teeth, or they have no teeth, or they have too many teeth. I mean, what difference does it make? Hunger is still hunger. That's what's important. That's what's important.
We want to celebrate every day, and this special occasion, we want to celebrate it. We want to thank you so much for coming to the West. Because if you never came here, where would we be? So please do celebrate with us. Please do dance with us.
Only this does that. In the middle of it, here I am. And there you are. And it goes, where would I be? Why do you have to imagine where would you be? You would be right there, and I would be right here, because this is reality, not hypotheses. I mean, I know people do that. Where would I be? There's even a song, Where Would I Be? Where would I be? I mean, God. I don't know where would I be, but I know where I am. See, that's how you celebrate. That's how you celebrate. And when you go home today, think how lucky you are, how fortunate you are. You have the gift of knowledge. And then tomorrow, when you will be coming here, think how fortunate you are. You have the gift of knowledge. And then on Sunday, think how fortunate you are. You have the gift of knowledge. And then Monday, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday, for the rest of your life. Of course, we're going to celebrate, and we are celebrating, but we celebrate a little differently. We celebrate a little differently. We celebrate for the rest of our lives. When our celebrations begin, we celebrate for the rest of our life. Those people who have knowledge, who practice knowledge, they began celebrating that day that they received knowledge, and they have the opportunity to celebrate every day for the rest of their life. Not just one thing. To have knowledge, to have a master, to have this breath, to have this kindness, to have this love, to have this guidance.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Don't you find it curious? You can find out a lot of things. You can find out a lot of things. You can find out if your back itches or not. You can find out if your, teeth is loose, tooth is loose. But you can't find out when you're going to go. Don't you think that's curious? There's got to be a grand plan in there somewhere. You know you're going to go, but you don't get to find out when. So why do you think that is? You would think that the Creator in all the wisdom would definitely let you know when your fuse is going to be up. But you don't know. And that's beautiful. So you only are left with one choice: to enjoy yourself every single day. Because if you knew the day you're going to go, you'd be running around like a rat. The way you do it is very similar now, but you'd be even more furious trying to make your 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, tata million, dutta million, tata 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 tata, everybody, but you don't know. You don't know. To me, it's beautiful. You don't know. So you only have one choice. Enjoy. Enjoy. And enjoy. Enjoy the timeless. It's about every day that you are here, that you are happy inside. Your heart is full. Your heart is full. That's why you came to me. So you could fill your heart. It wasn't to try to give you an answer. You are alive, you can have knowledge, you can be in that joy for the rest of your life. Now, how beautiful it is. There's many people who haven't gotten anything to say. I know they've had knowledge for a really long time. And I know, I see it in your face. I see it in your face. That smile, that twinkle. I know you love knowledge. I know you love this beautiful relationship. And keep enjoying it. It's not over yet. So it's been 40 years, so what? 40 years. That's some people a lifetime. Some people more. So many people who enjoyed this knowledge are not here with us anymore. Physically. Physically. They're gone. But they're here. They're here. And they'll always be here. Always. They actually get to go to every single program. And they don't have to register. And they're flown in a very nice aircraft by a good crew. And they come to every event. Every event. That's special. That's special.
When I woke up this morning, I knew exactly where I was going to be today. And I remembered that when I woke up on the 18th of June in 1971, waking up the most happy and fulfilled human being, I think, on the planet. I was in a little alcove halfway up the stairs of that house in Lincoln Street. One floor above me, one set of steps, was Maharaji's bedroom. For the next 2 weeks, until he went to the States, I was able to travel with him around Britain as he began transforming hearts, his presence, his message, just changing people. And I'll never forget, of course I'll never forget, those 2 weeks in my life being with him. But of course he's continued and continued and continued and continued, and will continue. And all as I want in my life is to continue with him for as long as the story goes on.
Every day should be a celebration. Every day. Every day there should be an understanding about what it means that this breath came. You know, we get so lost in our beliefs. We believe so much. It's actually mind-boggling how much belief goes on. Believing this, believing that, not knowing, just believing. And people believe away their whole life. And why? When the possibility exists to know, to understand, to experience, to fathom, to touch, to feel. This isn't about, and knowledge never has been about believing. And people always, those people who believe that by believing, one day they will get to know. And when you look at what the message has been left behind, what they have said, what Kabir said, what Mira said, what so many of the saints said, is no, this track does not connect to knowing. That's a separate track. It's called knowing. Get on that. And I was thinking about it. In Japan, there was this horrible earthquake. Horrible. Now, of course, the intensity and the destruction it brought was obviously a big surprise. But the fact that there was an earthquake, I don't think that was a big surprise to the Japanese. But then the tsunami came. And that had a terrible destructive force. But here's the killer. Long time ago, long time ago, somebody out of the goodness of their heart, on a stone, on the side of the hill inscribed, "Do not build below this point." Because they had experienced tsunami, and they knew everything would be destroyed. So they actually set a stone, "Don't build below this." I think that's just marvelous. I mean, that's just incredible. There in setting that stone lies this incredible act of humanity. That's what I think. You don't have to agree with me, but I think so. Because somebody took time. It wasn't just like, let's just do this. No, it was like, this will benefit the people. And this is the spirit. This is the spirit in which those people who leave that's wisdom. That's wisdom. You know what wisdom is? That's wisdom. That little piece of stone that says, "Don't build below this point." Did anybody heed it? Of course not. I mean, everybody wants to have an ocean view and be on the beach, prime property. And did they know about that stone? Obviously, they knew about that stone. But it happens because people believe everything will be okay. Those people didn't believe it'll be okay. They knew it wouldn't be okay. Let's put a stone up there and let's inscribe on it, "Don't build below this point." It's like, wow. Wow. That's all it takes. That's wisdom. That's the essence of all your safety. That's the essence of all your precautions. Somebody comes along, "Don't build below this point." And that message, what you are looking for, is inside of you. Same spirit, believe me, same spirit, same passion, same love, same care, same understanding, same, what can I say? Kindness. What you are looking for. I mean, who did they think was going to read this sign? Did they have their names? No. Did they know who, or could they even imagine the faces of people who would actually benefit? No. And they didn't write it on a piece of paper. They could have written it on a piece of paper. "Don't build below this point," but they knew the piece of paper isn't going to last very long. Stone. Generations to come will see. Don't build below this point. What you are looking for is inside. What are you looking for? What were you looking for? Catch-22. You're looking for something, except you have no idea what it is. And here comes the beliefs. Oh, you're looking for God. Oh, you're looking for peace. Oh, you're looking for love. Oh, you're looking for this. Oh, you're looking for that. You know, there are things in this world that seem to produce satisfaction, and somehow we latch onto those things and go, wow, that would be great. But if you were to find that which you are looking for, its gratification would continue to develop in your life for the rest of your life. One gratification, end, fini. One gratification, evolves, 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 grows. And for every minutest understanding that you gain about the priority of that which you are looking for is inside of you, the results are tenfold. Every time you understood just a little bit about the simplicity of knowledge, every time you understood a little bit more about the simplicity of life, not the world passing by, not the world going around, but the coming and going of this breath, that's your universe. That it isn't about all the relations and the relatives. It isn't about just the memories. It is about being alive today. And if you can live for one day, then let that day be that day in which you understand that day. Not understand yesterday or not have an inclination about tomorrow, but understand today, now, that the gift is given, that the coming and going of this breath is the blessing. And once you understand that, how amazing it is, everything else clicks in place, because all of a sudden, it's obvious. So what you are looking for is inside of you. Now, the rare thing here is in fact not that. That is rare, true. What you're looking for is inside of you. But the rare thing here is you have a way to get in touch with that which is inside of you. That's what makes it very special. That's what makes it very special. That you have that possibility. So practice. Don't be caught up in those pictures. Don't be caught up in those pictures. They will come and go. They will come and go. They have to come and go. But if you have to put a picture on the wall, then put the picture of contentment. Contentment because you are in touch with that beautiful feeling that is inside of you. If you have to put a picture on the wall, let it be of you fulfilled. And if that means that it looks blank to everybody, fine. Fine. So much light, it's an overexposure. So it's a blank picture. Because everything else will come and go. So will your struggle to be alive. It'll come and go. And maybe some of you understood You know, when you were young, it was like running around, running around, running around, running around. Not too many, but there was a few. And then, for somebody, just a very simple thing happens. There's an acceptance. There's an understanding. Enjoy it. It has something to do with your heart. The connection of knowledge and its enjoyment has so much to do with your heart, because that's where you feel the joy of it. That is the generosity. That's what Ram says. Coming and going of this breath is my blessing. So accept that blessing in your life. That's what knowledge is about. And enjoy it. Celebrate every day. No limit to enjoyment. Every single day. That's what has been made possible for you. That's the blessing. So, that stone. Do not build below this point. That's the generosity. That's the generosity of the Master that comes along here. Practice this knowledge. Be fulfilled.
This is my 40th anniversary as well as Maharaji's, because I received knowledge in October of '71. And what has been consistent, and this is a very key word for me, and that is something that Maharaji has been totally consistent with his clarity, with his message, with his incredible tireless efforts. I've never seen any being on the planet quite like him. He's just so completely focused, and you know, it brings him such joy to bring and awaken that joy in others, and that to me is just amazing.
Having been with Maharaji when he first came, on June 17th, 1971, and then to have the opportunity 40 years later to stand up and be able to express something about 40 years, his 40 years, and I guess my 40 years too. So, I mean, going back 40 years, I don't think I quite realized or quite understood 40 years ago that I was actually dealing with a 13-year-old. I mean, Maharaji was my teacher. He'd shown me knowledge. He had changed my life in a radical way. And you kind of forgot that he was 13. You know, that kind of wisdom that he had even then, and that commitment that he had even then. But now when I look back at it, and I think, 13-year-old? You know, stepping on that plane, stepping into the unknown, stepping into, as he described today to us, you know, a situation that must have been a bizarre situation for a 13-year-old. I mean, he would never have seen or experienced anything like what hit him in 1971 London. And yet he came into the middle of that, dealt with it, and actually transformed it. You know, so. But then he gets up there and he tells us about that, but then again you get this glimpse of always looking forward, always pushing the barriers still. He never stops pushing the barriers. And always behind that pushing the barriers is him serving us. You know, he serves us. He serves people, you know, in the most extraordinary way. And I just love that example he gave today, I guess, of the Japanese stone. You know, don't build below here. And how he kept coming back to that again and again and again. How much that had touched him, because he had seen someone who had taken that commitment to warn. You know, to warn people of a possible danger, and then comparing that to what he does, you know, and that message echoing down through time. You know, the peace is within you. The peace that you're looking for is within you.
Maharaji, just thank you so much. I'm so happy to be alive and here celebrating your 40 years of incredible, incredible work, your untiring, relentless kindness to all of us. I feel sometimes, especially to me, wow, you're just the most wonderful, wonderful teacher, and I just love you so very, very much. Thank you.
Well, enjoy the teachings. Yeah, don't overshadow the 45 years. You know, July 30th, is it? 31st? And that's 45 years ago is when I started doing this. 40 years is only when I came to... First place actually I came to was Rome. But there was nobody there to hear me. They were all asleep. And then flew on to London. But that was, you know, I mean, even in those days, it was, you know, when the other kids were going out, having their summer vacation, winter vacation, their holidays, that's when I would go to tour. So there was never any time off. It's like you come back a day before and then the school would begin. You know, you go grab your books and this and this and this and this and this. But yeah, it's been very beautiful to talk about this message, to talk about this, to bring knowledge to people. And it's fresh and it's new and it's real, and people can feel that love, feel that joy, feel that beauty. So yeah, it's still going on, and till it goes on, it'll go on. And it's beautiful. And you know, so many of you are here, and in your own little ways you help. And for that, I am very, very grateful. I am very, very grateful, because you help me to make that possible. And when that happens, it brings you joy. And it brings them joy. Whether it is prison events, whether it is big events, whether it is little events, whether it is, you know, events in Africa, whether it is events in little places, I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you help. You know who you are, who helped. And those of you don't, hopefully there'll be ways where you can help. Because everybody needs to help. This isn't about, you know, my dream. This is about being human. This is about putting that stone down. Don't build below this point. That has to come from such a goodness of one's heart. You know, just goodness. That's goodness, just dripping with goodness. Don't build below this point. And you'll be okay. That's well-wishing. You know, we wish people well by writing them a card. You know, I hope you feel better. Oh, you know, and happy anniversary or happy birthday, but for somebody to put this sign up there, you know, do not build below this point. That gets me. That to me is just like, wow, that's humanity right there. That's humanitarian. That's real humanitarian work. To just put out that message. What you're looking for is inside of you. That's what I do. So I can relate to it. But to me, these are the days. There are hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people listening to this message. There are people who don't have knowledge, but they love the message so much. In Brazil, they're making sure it comes to their little town. They're making the effort. Oh, yes, we have to have, and they call me Mr. ПРЕМ. But so when they like somebody, they drop the last name and they use the first name, Mr. ПРЕМ. We have to have Mr. ПРЕМ here. And moving forward, it's going to be a blast. Around the world. Around the world.